What type of fish do grizzly bears catch in summer? A. Salmon. What should be the main part of a house rabbit's diet? B. Hay. Blue whales can communicate across distances of up to C. 1,600 kilometers, 1,000 miles. Which statement about Komodo dragons is false? A. They spit acid. Complete the film title 101. B. Dalmatians. Why does a frog pull its eyeballs into its head? C. To help push food down its throat. How many teeth do elephants use to chew their food? A. 4. Which animal whirls its tail like a propeller to mark as much of its territory with dung as possible? A. Hippo. Which animal are hippos most closely related to? B. Whale. How long can a wandering albatross go without landing? C. 10 years. Dogs are most closely related to which forest animal? A. Wolves. Which toad was brought to Australia to eat a plague of sugar-eating beetles? A. Cane toad. What does a skunk spray smell most like? B. Burning rubber and urine. A giraffe's tongue is A. Blue. What do ostriches eat? C. Leaves and grass. Which of these do hedgehogs eat? A. Snails. Where do green mambas spend most of their time? C. In trees. From how great a height could a mouse fall and survive? C. A cruising jumbo jet. What sound do hedgehogs make? A. Snort. Which snakes are normally used by snake charmers? C. Cobras. Jaguar comes from a Native American word meaning what? A. A killer who kills with one leap. Which lizard can walk across ceilings? C. Gecko. Which cartoon animal says, "What's up, Doc?" A. Bugs Bunny. How does a little bird called an Egyptian plover help Nile crocodiles? C. Because it cleans their teeth. Which beetle did the ancient Egyptians worship? A. Scarab beetle. Does a proboscis monkey have a A. A giant nose? How many times a second does a bee hummingbird flap its wings? B. 80. What are baby sharks called? A. Pups. How fast can a woodpecker peck wood? B. 16 times per second. House mice can squeeze through cracks the width of a A. Raspberry. Which mammal lives in the Egyptian pyramids? B. Tomb bat. Whose grandma lived in a forest and was eaten by a wolf? C. Little Red Riding Hood. Which statement about cockroaches is false? A. They could survive a nuclear war. Which lizard rolls up into a spiky coil to defend itself? A. Armadillo lizard. The largest type of shark is the size of a B. Bus. Arctic terns migrate from the Arctic to the Antarctic and back again. How far is the round trip? B. 75,000 kilometers, 45,000 miles. What is a baby hare called? A. Leveret. Which deadly mythical beast has only one eye? A. Cyclops. Which animal lays eggs? B. Chameleon. Which is the most common mammal on the planet? A. Rat. Which is the most common rainforest mammal? C. Bat. What is a group of monkeys called? C. Troop. What's the name of the hard case that protects a caterpillar as it changes into a butterfly? A. Chrysalis. An African giant snail would cover your entire. B. Face. Which of these is most likely to be seen in Europe? A. Golden eagle. In 2007, sharks killed one human. How many sharks did humans kill in the same year? C. 100 million. Praying mantis strikes how many times faster than a person can blink? B. 10 times. Which of these is an insect? C. Butterfly. What do you call a beaver's home? C. Lodge. What kind of animal does a pika look like? C. Guinea pig. How do geckos distract a predator? C. By discarding their tail. Which shark can live in rivers? B. Bull shark. Which farm animals are wild boars most closely related to? C. Pigs. How far can polar bears swim without stopping? C. 650 kilometers, 400 miles. What is the name of this desert animal that has huge ears and hops like a kangaroo? C. Jerboa. Which fictional sea beast was hunted by Captain Ahab? A. Moby Dick. Why don't you see wasps in winter? C. They're nearly all dead. Ursus maritimus is the scientific name for which bear? A. Polar bear. A blue whale's heart is the same size as a C. Car. To fill a jar with honey, how many trips to collect nectar would a bee need to make? C. 2 million. Where do yaks live? A. Himalayas. There are only 2 egg-laying mammals in the world. One is the platypus. What is the other? A. Echidna. What is the world's most venomous animal? A. Box jellyfish. How many balloons could a blue whale blow up with one breath? C. 2. What's the name of Dennis the Menace's pet dog? C. Gnasher. How much of its life does a dormouse spend asleep? B. 0.75. What is the world's noisiest land animal? A. Howler monkey. Which is not a real animal? A. Sea tomato. What's the name of Australia's jackal-like predator? A. Dingo. What most threatens rhinos' survival? B. Poachers. Which bird is the fastest animal that's ever lived? A. Peregrine falcon. Is a polar bear's skin A. Black. Which bear is very good at climbing trees? A. Black bear. How wide is a Japanese spider crab's leg span? C. 4 meters, 13 feet. According to tests, which land snake has the most toxic venom in the world? C. Inland taipan. What is the smallest spoon a newborn kangaroo could be picked up with? A. Teaspoon. Amazonian giant centipedes are the length of your. C. Forearm. What is a sloth's top speed? A. 0.25 kilometers per hour, 0.15 miles per hour. How many hours do koalas sleep a day? C. 20 hours. What percentage of the world's mammal species are bats? C. 0.2. How long are bandicoots pregnant? A. 12 days. What is the name of this eel? B. Gulper eel. Which insect has hairs growing out of its eyes? A. Honeybee. Which animal has the most powerful bite in the world? B. Crocodile. Which big cat lives in the Amazon rainforest? B. Jaguar. Which animal cleans its ears with its tongue? A. Giraffe. What makes up 80% of a grizzly bear's diet? C. Plants. Catfish get their name because they have. C. Long whiskers. What does a bat screech as loud as? C. Car horn. Where do European barn swallows spend winter? B. Africa. Which monkey escapes the winter chill by bathing in hot springs? C. Japanese macaque. An octopus with a body the size of a bowling ball could squeeze through a hole the size of a. A. Ping pong ball. Irukandji jellyfish are only 1 centimeter or 0.3 inches wide, but their venom is stronger than a king cobra's. Is it? C. 100 times as strong. Which of these is not a reason why fireflies glow? C. To light their way. Where do armadillos live? C. The Americas.
What are the thorny devil and the Gila monster? Reptiles, birds, or insects?
Reptiles.
What is another name for a box jellyfish?
Sea wasp.
How fast can a peregrine falcon dive?
(200 miles per hour). Which is the only big cat that lives in the Americas? The cheetah, jaguar, or ocelot? B. Jaguar. At what age do gorillas learn to knuckle walk? 3 weeks, 9 months, or 9 years? B. 9 months. Where does the spectacled bear live? In mountains, deserts, or tundra? A. Mountains.